We perceive the world through our senses. Our eyes capture light, our ears pick up sound waves, and our skin feels textures. These sensory inputs are the foundation of our experience. We see colors, hear sounds, and feel textures. These sensations form the building blocks of our reality, creating a vivid tapestry of experiences that we navigate daily. But what if these perceptions are not accurate reflections of reality? What if the world we think we know is just a shadow of something far more complex and elusive? What if our brains construct a simplified version of the world, filtering and interpreting information to help us survive? This notion challenges the very core of our understanding of existence. This intriguing possibility suggests that our reality is in fact an illusion. Our minds might be weaving a narrative that is more about survival than truth. The idea that our senses deceive us is not new. Ancient philosophers like Plato and Descartes have long pondered the reliability of our perceptions. Philosophers have pondered this question for centuries. They have debated whether what we see, hear, and feel is a true representation of the world, or merely a construct of our minds. However, recent advancements in neuroscience have provided compelling evidence to support this theory. Studies show that our brains are not passive receivers of information, but active constructors of our reality. Our brains, it seems, are masters of illusion. They take raw sensory data and transform it into a coherent experience, often filling in gaps and making assumptions along the way. Our brains receive a constant stream of sensory data. This data is a chaotic mix of signals that our brains must organize and interpret to make sense of the world. This data is then processed and interpreted, creating our subjective experience of the world. Our brains filter out what they deem unnecessary and highlight what they consider important. But this process is not always accurate. Optical illusions and cognitive biases reveal the flaws in our perception, showing that our brains can be easily tricked. Our brains can be tricked, and our perceptions can be altered by a variety of factors. Context, expectations, and prior knowledge all play a role in shaping our experience, and our perceptions can be altered by a variety of factors. Virtual reality, for instance, can create convincing experiences that feel real, even though they are entirely fabricated. Is it possible that our brains are constantly deceiving us? Could it be that what we perceive as reality is just a convenient fiction? Could the world we experience be nothing more than a carefully constructed illusion? This question invites us to reconsider everything we take for granted. Let's delve deeper into this fascinating concept. By exploring the nature of perception and the workings of the brain, we may uncover profound insights into the true nature of reality. Neuroscientist Donald Hoffman proposes a radical theory. Our perception of reality is a user interface, designed for survival, not accuracy. Just as computer icons simplify complex code, our brains present a simplified model of reality, hiding its true complexity. Imagine a computer user interacting with a desktop interface. They see icons representing files and programs, but not the underlying code. Similarly, Hoffman argues, we experience the world through a sensory interface that masks the true nature of reality. This interface theory suggests that evolution has shaped our perceptions to be useful, not necessarily true. Our brains prioritize survival and reproduction over accurate representation. Hoffman uses the analogy of a desktop to illustrate this concept. The icons on a computer desktop are not the actual files and programs they represent. They are simplified representations that allow us to interact with the computer's complex inner workings. Humans pride themselves on their senses, yet they are limited compared to other animals. Our visual spectrum is narrow, missing ultraviolet and infrared light visible to some insects and reptiles. Our hearing range pales in comparison to bats and dolphins. Consider the limitations of human vision. We can only perceive a small fraction of the electromagnetic spectrum. Bees, on the other hand, can see ultraviolet light, which helps them locate nectar in flowers. Snakes can detect infrared radiation, allowing them to hunt warm-blooded prey in complete darkness. These examples highlight the fact that our perception of reality is limited by our sensory organs. Other animals experience the world in vastly different ways, perceiving aspects of reality that remain hidden from us. Our limited senses paint an incomplete picture of the world. They evolved to serve our specific needs, not to reveal the universe's full complexity. Section 4. Animal Insights Beyond Human Perception. In this section, we delve into the extraordinary ways animals perceive the world around them, often in ways that are beyond human comprehension. Dogs experience a world of scent, navigating primarily through their olfactory senses. Their noses are equipped with up to 300 million olfactory receptors, compared to a mere 6 million in humans. Eagles soar with eyesight several times sharper than ours, spotting prey from miles away. Their vision is so acute that they can detect the slightest movement of a rabbit or a fish from high altitudes. These examples illustrate the diverse ways animals perceive reality, each adapted to their ecological niche. From the echolocation of bats to the ultraviolet vision of bees, the animal kingdom is full of sensory marvels. Imagine the world through a dog's nose. Every scent particle tells a story, from the presence of other animals to the history of a place. It's a rich tapestry of information that we can barely begin to understand. Their sense of smell is estimated to be 10,000 to 100,000 times more acute than ours. This incredible sensitivity allows them to detect substances at concentrations nearly 100 million times lower than what humans can perceive. They experience a symphony of scents, each telling a story about the environment and its inhabitants. From the scent of a flower to the trail of a passing animal, dogs live in a world rich with olfactory information. Eagles, with their exceptional visual acuity, demonstrate the power of specialized senses. Their eyes are adapted to detect even the slightest movements, making them formidable hunters. Their eyes possess a higher density of photoreceptor cells than human eyes, allowing them to see with incredible detail over long distances. This adaptation is crucial for their survival, enabling them to spot prey from great heights. These examples challenge our anthropocentric view of reality. They remind us that our sensory experiences are just one way of interpreting the world, and that other creatures have their own unique ways of perceiving their surroundings. They remind us that our human experience is just one perspective among many, each offering a unique window into the nature of the world. By studying these animal insights, we gain a deeper appreciation for the complexity and diversity of life on Earth. We learn that there is much more to reality than what meets the human eye, and that every species has its own story to tell. Section 5. The Curious Case of Insect Time. Insects, with their rapid movements and reactions, seem to perceive time differently than humans. Their world is a whirlwind of activity where every second counts. Research suggests they process visual information at a much faster rate, experiencing time in a kind of slow motion compared to our own. This phenomenon is known as temporal resolution. Imagine a housefly dodging a swat. To us, it seems almost instantaneous, but for the fly, it's a calculated maneuver. To the fly, the hand's movement appears much slower, giving it ample time to react and escape. This is because their brains can process visual cues at an incredibly high speed. This difference in time perception is attributed to the fly's faster processing speed of visual information. Their compound eyes, which consist of thousands of tiny lenses, allow them to detect motion with remarkable precision. Studies have shown that flies can detect flicker rates up to 4 times faster than humans. This means they can perceive individual flashes of light that we would see as a continuous beam. This heightened sensitivity to flickering light helps them navigate their fast-paced environment, avoiding predators and finding food with ease. This difference in time perception highlights the subjective nature of reality. What seems like a blur to us is a detailed sequence of events for a fly. Even something as fundamental as time can be experienced differently depending on the organism and its sensory processing capabilities. This fascinating aspect of insect biology opens up new avenues for understanding how different creatures interact with the world around them. Take the dragonfly, for instance. Known for its incredible hunting skills, it can track and capture prey with astonishing accuracy. This is possible because of its exceptional time perception and rapid visual processing. Dragonflies can see in almost 360 degrees around them, allowing them to detect the slightest movements and react almost instantaneously. Their larvae too exhibit remarkable predatory skills underwater. Another fascinating example is the mantis shrimp. With one of the most complex visual systems in the animal kingdom, It can see polarized light and has a much broader color spectrum than humans. This enables it to strike prey with incredible speed and precision. These examples illustrate the diverse ways in which different insects and other creatures perceive time and process visual information. It's a reminder of the incredible adaptability and specialization found in the natural world. The curious case of insect time perception not only fascinates scientists, but also inspires us to look at the world from a different perspective. It challenges our understanding of reality and highlights the intricate and varied ways life has evolved to thrive on our planet. All of that should make you think that everything what we hear, see, feel, taste is by far not everything what's out there. Throughout history, there have been many accounts of people with extraordinary abilities or perceptions that go far beyond what is considered normal. Example 1. Edgar Cayce, known as the Sleeping Prophet, is said to have accessed information in trance states that went far beyond what he could consciously know. He could supposedly diagnose illnesses and suggest remedies that were unknown to him. Modern scientists, like psychologist Dr. Ian Stevenson, have studied similar phenomena and found that while such cases are rare, they are well documented. Quote, Cayce's work remains a mystery that challenges the limits of our understanding of mind and matter. Dr. Ian Stevenson. Example 2. Helen Keller, who was both deaf and blind, developed an extraordinary ability to feel and understand the world around her, often in ways that most people could not imagine. She could perceive vibrations and air currents so sensitively that she could hear conversations by feeling the lip movements of others. Quote, she developed a sensitivity to the world far beyond what sighted or hearing people could ever experience. Anne Sullivan, Helen Keller's teacher. Example 3. Intuition and premonition. There are numerous reports of people who had a premonition or a strong gut feeling in certain situations that saved them from danger. A well-known example is the phenomenon where some people felt compelled not to enter the World Trade Center on September 11, 2001, without having any rational reason for it. Researchers like Dr. Rupert Sheldrake have developed theories about morphic fields that could explain such intuitive connections. Quote, intuition might be a way for our mind to access information we do not consciously perceive. Dr. Rupert Sheldrake. Perhaps there is indeed more between heaven and earth than we can grasp with our limited senses. While most of us see and feel through the filters of our brains, there may be those who have a more intense, deeper connection to reality. Whether it's called intuition, a gut feeling, or the Holy Spirit, this expanded perception remains a fascinating mystery.